One Piece chapter 936. Before we get into that huge blue balls cliffhanger, the GOAT of One Piece himself stepping in. Dog, we gotta talk about the fact that Nami with that happiness punch just one-shot the entire room. It's like I keep telling you guys. Like, Nico Robin can't do that shit. Nami, on the other hand, can. Like everybody talking about how Boa Hancock, the most beautiful woman on the world. Nami the one got that happiness punch. Nami got that happiness punch. Boa be turning motherfuckers to stone and shit. But see, that don't mean nothing. You can't get the legend of Boa Hancock, the legend of Nami, the cat burglar. That's some real shit right there. Jesus Christ, man. Like, I was like, Oda's doing all this fan service with Nami. Where the fuck is this going? And it's just like, this made sense. Because this was the only way they're going to be able to get out this situation. I'm thinking, how the fuck are they going to fight their way out of this? Like, there's no way. So I thought that was a pretty clever way to actually handle the Straw Hats getting out of that situation. Now, to back up, so I gotta say, for this chapter though, I'm giving this chapter an 8.5 out of 10, and the reason why is when you get the revelation of Kawamatsu. I hope I'm saying the name right. You know, guys know I butcher One Piece names, but when you find out that, you know, this dude has a connection to the old man that Luffy is guarding, and how Rizzo is just like, look, you know, I'll get you free, no worries about it. The rebellion is coming, and you just see this whole buildup of where, you know, Rizzo is just looking. He's like, look, you know, I got to get Luffy free first, and, you know, the battle's going to take place on this point. And you got the dude that's in the cell, like, look, you know, for the last 13 years, I've just been eating rotten fish, and I'm getting ready for battle. Don't worry about me. I'll be ready when the time comes. And I like how, as all this is going on, right, you get this moment where, as Rizzo is watching just before he gets caught, he realizes that the key that he had was not going to actually free Luffy. And so that's like, okay, what's the purpose of the key that he has? But Oda brought everything back full circle for me. So for Luffy to actually see him with those collars on his neck and the neck of that old man, and Luffy immediately makes a connection that I did once I saw that collar, and how the head was just completely shattered after he put on that huge wooden doll, and how the head just completely detached, and you see the claws on the inside. It reminded me of what the Celestial Dragons do, and that's exactly the conclusion Luffy comes to. And the way that Luffy is so desperately pulling on it in order to get it removed, that made me think about Cammy from, I believe Cammy was with Sayabodi when we first got introduced to her. See, it's Sayabodi or it's Fishman Island. I want to say it's Sayabodi when we get introduced to her. Like, for me, that moment right there just kind of brought it back full circle to where it's just like, in the One Piece world, Luffy's gonna be the one that's probably gonna end that whole system right there. And, you know, for Luffy to see that, and to see how helpless he was in that instant, where no matter how hard he pulled on that necklace that he has, no matter how hard, there was nothing he could do. And how Luffy has to go through this barbaric ritual of where he's fighting in the Sumo Inferno, and the rules are pretty simple. If both of them fall off, their execution's obviously immediate. And when Luffy says, well, if I beat you, then you'll set us free, and Luffy doesn't get an answer. He just gets told that, hey, you're gonna have to fight. And so it's one of those scenarios where Luffy's gonna have to fight Queen at the end game. Eventually at the end game, he's gonna have to fight him. And I like how, you know, Luffy, as soon as he gets those cuffs off of him, that's when I said, okay. I was just talking about how Luffy was so fucking brilliant that, or so stupid that he's brilliant. And I said, okay, he's been training. Now we're gonna see it. And we see it firsthand when all these people are like, yeah, you know, we're barbarians, we got weapons, you know, they make it a point to say they got powers, and Luffy one-shots them using a Supreme King Haki. He says, these guys aren't even a warm-up. So this right here lets you know Luffy's about to get a real exercise. And we're gonna see that, you know, the next time Kaido goes up against Luffy, I know Kaido was drunk, but Luffy admittedly knocked that dude sober. Next time, Luffy's probably going to be able to land a couple big blows on Kaido. That's going to be huge. Again, it might be too soon, but I mean, with Shonen, I mean, it don't take long for a little bit of training for the main character to get much stronger. I mean, we've seen it before where, you know, Luffy, Rob Lucci arguably should have whooped his ass when you had that scenario to where Luffy was trying to free Nico Robin. Rob Lucci probably should have whipped his ass. But all it took was Luffy getting a second crack at the dude, and Luffy was able to whoop his ass. So same thing with Crocodile. It don't take much for Luffy to get that extra gap on you. So I thought that that part was interesting. Now, I will say that I also like this, how Oda moves us away from Luffy and how Sanji been peeping the whole time. And this is the one time that his perversion actually pays off, because it's due to all that Sanji and Nico Robin and them, they're able to learn that essentially the people that have those tattoos of the half moon crest on the ankle, they've been found out. But then Sanji also says, like, they've also captured people out of Law's group, and they're really trying to bring Law out into the open. We gotta get Law under control. And I like how in that moment Sanji's perversion pays off. It pays off in that instance. And you know, they look at his outfit and they say, oh shit, that's the boy from Germa 66. No, we gotta be careful. This ain't nobody to fuck around with. That's gonna be Stealth Black. And you know, at this point, they don't actually know that it's Sanji, so they actually caught a break. But, you know, I believe it was Hawkins that saw Nami, and so he recognized who she was. So they're learning very quickly that the Straw Hats are on here. So that's going to be interesting. Like, you know, again, Hawkins already knew Luffy was there, but if you see Nami, you know that the whole crew's probably there. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Now, obviously, the next chapter is probably going to be a brawler chapter, because Zoro's been tracked down and the Shusui has essentially been brought back. And if I said the name wrong, guys know I'm apologizing. But, you know, the fact is that, you know, the skeleton that Zoro fought on Thriller Bark, that was actually his sword. And again, this is one of those times when it's like Oda is paying off shit from 500 fucking chapters ago. Like, at this point, man, like, Oda might fuck around and go down as the greatest mangaka of all time. I don't say that shit lightly, and, you know, I think it's so sad that so many people, myself included, held off on reading One Piece. They said, oh my God, the art style is so cartoonish, and yet I can kind of understand it because of the round bodies and everything, but, you know, Oda, his art improved. It went from, like, that stands out, because, you know, with shonen, you're so used to, like, in the 80s, you're used to the big muscled men shonen, and then, you know, Dragon Ball stood out because it was you know, Son Goku was this round, pudgy kid with the muscles a little pudgy and everything, and then with One Piece, some of the characters were round, or they had like the long limbs and long bodies. But when you look at them in comparison to the other shonen that were out there, the art, I feel like Oda purposely went the direction of where his art looked different than his other contemporaries that were coming out at that time. And you start seeing how probably around 200 chapters in, Oda started making small changes to the aesthetics of the series. And you just see it full front here where, you know, One Piece, I feel like One Piece, I don't read every Jump title because some of them I'm still catching up. It's unfair to gauge against some of these others, but I know for me, the art is hands down, like, I'm gonna catch some shit because, I mean, the Naruto channel is my bigger channel, but I mean, One Piece's art is better than Naruto's art. Like, it's taken me a long time to say that. I really feel like One Piece's art is better than Naruto's art. I feel like Masashi Kishimoto takes more risk with his panels and does a better job with action sequences, but when it comes to dynamic expressions and just expressive art, One Piece hands down shits on Naruto, man. So my question to you guys is, how unexpected was Nami's happiness punch? And how unexpected was it of Sanji to actually be there in the bathhouse? I thought Sanji wasn't going to have the balls to pull something like that. Looks like I underestimated the perversion of Sanji's pervertness. Is that even a word? I'm going to have to Google that. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.